Hey, Lee Wolf here. Welcome to Game Face Monday. Hope everyone had a great weekend. How you doing, Richie?
Good. How are you, Lee?
Good, good. Hanging in there. The weather is starting to take a turn now here, so it's like
Oh,
nice and
wow.
dry and like 70 degrees, 65 degrees. It's beautiful.
Well, it's nice here.
How are things down there?
In the 70s, it's nice. It's Georgia is Georgia.
Yeah, it is.
I
Yeah, it is.
mean, honestly, I don't particularly like Georgia that much because there's a lot of
All right.
mountains. To say the truth, you know me, I speak my mind. I don't really like it that much. I got
Right.
friends here. I don't know how they live here, but I'm not really interested.
It's the
Um,
scorpions that scared me. But
Yeah, it's like, I don't, I mean, maybe if I go to different places or whatever else, I'll like it. But,
right.
the place, it's mountains. Everything is mountainside. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's a lot of cliffs, this, that.
Yeah. All right. Well, so today's show, it's just you and I, Richie and I today, and we're going to be talking about technology overload once we come back from our sponsor message, basically about how, there are so many solutions out there now, and they're not all necessarily right, or they might be right, but you might already have something that already handles that solution. There's such technology overload that we're going to talk a little further today about how to pick that right technology, software, how to evaluate yourself to make sure there's a need, and if you're overloaded and you need to cut. But we'll be right back in a moment after this message from Shop Smart Autos.
We continue to show dealerships across the country how to retain their customers. But now Shop Smart Autos wants to bring the new customers right to your showroom floor. The car they want? It's sitting on your lot, and Shop Smart Autos can bring you the VIN-specific leads that take them straight to your door. These aren't just leads. They're nurtured, targeted, and matched down to the exact vehicle. You'll sell more cars faster, and your team is going to thank you for it. Shop Smart Autos VIN-specific leads. Let SSA show them the way to your showroom floor.
All right, so where to begin? I mean, you're talking like software, automation tools, AI, traditional emails, direct mail, social media. There's so many things thrown at companies. How many different types of CRMs are there now? How many, like, there's something new. I shouldn't even say every day. There's something new every 30 minutes hitting the market. So from your perspective, Richie, when you're out there, are you seeing that dealerships they're overloading themselves with too much and not really evaluating the situation first?
Well, so let's talk about that. What does overload mean? So back when I was with Reynolds and the Nicholson Group and all that, Reynolds wanted to sell something called Sales Vision. This was in the 90s. There was no CRM, right? Didn't exist, right? So then Microsoft had this thing they called the Goldmine or Act 2. It was called Act 2. You used to put it on your computer, a flippy disk, boom. And that was the follow-up of the salesperson. Act 2,
Right.
you would go on there, you would put name, phone number, email, you were able to download it into a spreadsheet and all that, have it in your pocket, follow up and all that stuff. You could use your computer, you didn't have to. So we said, because they were losing a lot of stores and we almost didn't have like the consultant side of it because it was overloading, giving the dealership too much technology without the proper training to use the technology. So a lot of stores got Sales Vision. It was like $100,000 or something, like stupid for the time, because nobody had this technology and it was integrated between your DMS and your technology of Reynolds and Reynolds. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that didn't work, really. It was too much money. Just didn't work. Nobody was using it. There was no training. The Reynolds and Reynolds sells you stuff and that's it. Here you go. And Reynolds and Reynolds was a very expensive company. They still are. I'm surprised they're still around, but
Yeah.
they're very, very expensive in what they do. They haven't adapted to the time. So very good company, a lot of great stuff. So now, that being said, now we're talking 92 or 91. So how many years is that? Like, 35, 40 years almost,
Yeah.
right? Close
Yeah,
to 35 years, 37. Let's say 37 years. In 37 years, us humans got used to a little bit of technology. Us humans got used to a little bit of marketing. That's why the social media, everybody thinks they're marketers, all that. They go on there. There's 4,000 or 5,000 just digital marketers in the automotive sector. It's like crazy, right?
yeah,
Everybody is a marketer now, right?
yeah.
Okay, good. Now, the real overload is, I heard it not too long ago. I have this, I see this product line. I'm not going to mention name. Then this other big competitor, good friends of ours, big competitor that does not have the same thing. You just got a text platform for a website with great conversion. Somebody else is selling an app for fixed ops or something like that.
Right.
And they say right in front of me, this is the same company. I have that company already. Well, it's not the same. It's not even remotely the same.
Wow.
This is the problem. And that's that the guy opened up and said, I already have that. A lot of people don't open that and say, thank you, but I don't want it. You know what I mean? Because we don't ask why you don't want it,
Right.
We go to the next guy. And that's what's going on. They're confusing. They're not understanding. They're not comprehending what you're trying to tell them. And Lee, that everything is communication.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like what you do. If you don't communicate with those videos the right way and you don't send out the right stuff, people get confused.
Sure.
And we all know this is not something new. A confused mind's always going to say no.
Yeah, no. No, simple and to the point, and
right
information at the right time is always going to bring that person back to you. Or
right. So, and that's what the problem is. And I listen to these pictures and I listen to these things, and a lot of people call me to see the it's everybody's impressed with the product lines,
Right.
And instead of getting more impressed with communicating that to the dealer and getting revenue, everybody's like, wow, my product's really the best. My product's really good.
Yeah.
It's great, but the dealerships are getting confused.
Right.
And they're only buying it from certain people that have the good delivery. It's just when you sell technology, you got to sell it a little different.
Yeah.
Too much is not really good. That saying, less is more.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. Less is more.
Yeah. Well, like look at the VIN retention report from ShopSmart. It's not like you're out there pounding it over people's heads. You're running a report. You're showing them. You're saying, look, you're losing all this and you're keeping all that, and this is where they're going. You show them it works, and then they want to hold on to it. They want to see if their retention's getting better. Their retention's getting whatever it is. It's a tool that should be able to almost speak for itself.
And that tool is great. It's great for what we do for the lead gen, because we can show them the retention that's not good. But the whole thing with that whole thing is, at least the tool, dealers understand that tool, because since the car business has been in the car business, that you had RL Polk & Company, you had everybody data, Experian data, everybody was data. Right now, it's like scary, because now it's more than what even dealerships understand. You know what I mean? Like dealerships went from the phone calls, the incoming phone call, the salespeople take it, right? That was the phone room back then for salespeople. Tom Stuka, which was one of the best there is in the business, all right, was called Stuka, training, and he was great. And he's still doing it. He's the most traveled man in our industry, really. Tom Stuka. So he started that, but we realized that the phone room with the salespeople was like punishing them. They didn't want to be in a phone. They wanted to be more free. Okay. So then the BDC thing came into the world. Okay. Then that BDC thing went in, and now it was all about leads. Now BDC is doing a lot more than leads, Now BDC is doing fix ops, nurturing, leads, everything. It's a whole different area.
Sure.
But now Now you got these AI agents.
Yeah.
You know, that they have to get integrated to your CRM. They have to get this, they have to get that. And those agents are a lot better than the humans for at least for them to clean your stuff up, for at least for them to call people and get you an appointment or whatever, or put
Right.
you direct connect with somebody, right?
Right.
Why is that better? Because salespeople get 10 phone calls and 5 of them or 6 of them since knowing you're done for the day.
Right.
You want to pack up your stuff and go home and just go to sleep, and another day will be better, right?
Right.
And some guys are aggressive, but you don't have to continuously be following up with these things here that they have today. You follow, until basically it becomes a conversion, or they tell you, don't call me no more.
Right.
So it's a much better thing, but to comprehend from a dealer perspective, this is much harder.
Yeah.
How is that going to do what I wanted to do, and this, that, and it's all about back end, and it's all about programming. It's all about, sending out commands.
Sure. Yeah. But it's hard to embrace new technology. I remember when email was really kicking into gear, and I sent my first, instead of making a radio station drive from New York City out to Long Island to get a radio station on a disc to drive it back to the radio station, I said, can we put it on an email? And I just put it on the email and sent it, and they called me and they said, that is the most amazing thing that anyone has ever done for us. But they never thought to do it. They were scared.
Right.
Yeah, technology is it's interesting. Just going to take a 1 minute break quick with JP over at Vinsight for a retention minute.
Hello, JP here with Vinsight, reminding you that too many dealers look at the sale as the finish line. It really is just the starting point, of that customer relationship. Today's buyers, they expect more. They expect a connected experience similar to what they're seeing in their cars today. These vehicles are becoming digital ecosystems, and that means the relationships with your customers has to be more than just service reminders. It's about being their resource, their go-to resource for all the different vehicle needs. And the dealers that do this, that own the relationships long after the sale, are going to own the lifetime value, right? That is so valuable. You miss that, and you're just renting customers until someone else down the line earns their loyalty. So this is JP with Vinsight. You sell them, and we keep them coming back.
All
right. So when it comes
to that slogan, by the way,
you sell them,
we keep coming, and they keep coming back.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah, I like that too.
I love that.
So what do you think about the thought process of having an agency? If you have an agency and the agency is going to be looking into software tools or assessing your situation and your marketing, plan, that agency in most cases should have dealt in the automotive space before, right?
Right.
And have a record that's trackable.
That's trackable, correct. That's what I think. And also, Lee, like you see all these free trials and all this on Facebook and that, and you click, let me test this product. So everybody is giving you stuff to test out.
Yeah.
Right. And then you put your credit card on, and then you get hit. Also, you can get more technology than you're going to use. Right. Because if you don't use it, why do you need to load yourself up with all this technology?
Yeah.
We only buy what we're going to use, or I only build what we're really going to use.
Right.
Because it makes no sense to build all this technology that's going to become obsolete.
Right.
Because technology depreciates at such a big value, that it's crazy. And talking about that, R&D companies, they get a tremendous benefit from R&D from the tax companies. From the IRS and that. Guys, if you want to really get to know that, text me or something, because I have such a great solution for this R&D to get really, really taken care of. It's unbelievable the money you can get back. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and from the agency perspective, I mean, a lot of dealing with co-op, right?
Yeah.
The understanding of all these. So I find like all the clients that we take on, they've like gone out on their own and started their social media accounts.
Right.
Half of them can't get back in.
Right.
Sometimes you have a Google, business portfolio, and it's total like a total disaster, and they don't even know that they're supposed to be posting. They're supposed to be,
Right.
getting a couple of hundred words a week out there and staying on top of these things. It's unbelievable. Almost every business that we take on, that we're looking at their Google pages, which is
Right.
like the most important thing on the planet right now.
Right.
It's a complete mess.
They don't know. They just don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. They don't know. Nobody knows. It's scary because everybody wants to know, and they don't know. They don't even want to hire people that do know.
Right.
And now this thing with Facebook and all these marketing people that think they're marketers, they know how to do a post on Facebook.
Yeah.
It's like crazy, but now it's even getting worse than that because now this technology is coming in like nuts,
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of these businesses think too that they could buy AI, just buy an AI solution or two, and it's going to take care of everything.
Right.
And that was something to clarify: automation versus actual AI. There's a disconnect out there with the understanding of it, right?
Well, here's what it is. There's also a disconnect with the AI thing, right? So here's the real disconnect. AI says artificial intelligence. Could AI tell you any information that's not public?
Right.
The answer is no.
Right. It's not contemplating what it thinks might happen.
No.
Right.
AI does not give you any information. If it wouldn't be Google and all these search engines, it wouldn't be what we have today. There would be no AI.
Mm-hmm.
So is it really AI? That's what I want people to answer me.
I can't even imagine how far we are from actual AI.
Right. So everybody's using that term like AI. Now, there's SI, synthetic intelligence. Now, that's a whole different game.
Right.
AI is great, but the way we think AI doesn't.
No.
There's no logic and there's no common sense.
Right.
And when you ask the AI, it tells you, yes, we do that. But then if you set them up and do something and then write something, prompt them to something else, and you don't write it exactly how you want it, and you already are communicating with them, that's when I know there's no common sense and no logic.
Right.
The SI is going to have that. Now, that's going to engage just like a human, because it's what's missing.
Right.
So the search goes out and it tells you, and it has what I call the ultimate spinner that is able to spin the content for you.
Right.
But if you do research on somebody or a product line, it's only going to give you what's out there.
Right.
If that person is not out there, nothing is out there, they're going to give you anything.
Yeah. Yeah. People can't always talk about how, like Terminator was the big thing with AI, and the machines took over the world because they wanted to protect themselves. And people still talk today about what happens when AI is in the military and all of a sudden it decides that it wants to conquer the world. And it's like, no, it's not going to decide it wants to conquer the world. But if there's information built into the system that if Russia launches missiles, our system has to launch missiles, and that's what we taught it, then the AI will take over and do what it has to do and make the best mathematical decisions on where those things end up. But we're not in a place, and this AI that we're looking, or whatever we want to call it, it's a marketing term, but the intelligence that we're looking at right now is Yeah, it's just all data in, data out, right? That's like all.
Right. So the automation, to answer your questions, I didn't forget about your question. So without automation, there's no AI.
Right.
Because automation is the deliverable, the delivery. You go on Chat GPT and you say, well, let me write this, and you put a subject on, right? And now, how is that going to be delivered to you?
Right.
Right? So it
Right.
knows the knowledge, but now the deliverable, that's what the most important thing. So it's the deliverable. But our AI is not like what people perceive it as to be. Like, for an example, why am I saying that? Because I heard a presentation about a week ago, an AI doing a presentation to a dealership about their AI. You know, they just totally misled the dealership
Right.
because what they were saying is not true.
Right.
And I understand salespeople and all that stuff. I get it because I'm a salesperson first. But let me tell you, you today got to be careful because when you say that today about AI, and I'm seeing a lot of people do presentations based on what they perceive that their product line is, not on what the fact is.
Right.
Because they're so high on the AI thing that's what's happening, you know?
Right.
And it's okay. I got a lot of friends that are building stuff. I have a lot of people that are building stuff. It's great. But my friends don't just communicate like that because, you know, you have to really know. And that's when the dealer gets confused because somebody else told them something else and you told them something else about your AI. Know something. Deals are getting pitched every day 40, 50, 60 times this AI solution.
Right. Yeah.
40 or 50 times.
Yeah. And it's not turnkey. I mean, some of them might be, but I've used a couple of programs. Actually, we have a software solution that we use that it creates postings if we wanted to do postings in certain situations on social media, let's say.
Right.
And you could tell it to make its own pictures, or you could put your own pictures in there and your own words in there, whatever you want to do.
Wow.
But I'll tell you what, at least once or twice a week, it'll show me a post and say, do you approve this post? Can I put it on their social media? And the people's heads are cut off. And I'll say, why does the software care? It doesn't. The software is not thinking, oh, this picture doesn't look good enough.
Right.
The software is like, this is a photo that is of that topic. Here's a car photo. Here's words. And sometimes it really messes up. And that's where then I have to go back in and I have to train the software to understand that you got to have their full body and head on their picture. And then all of a sudden it starts to work. But it's not intelligent in the way where it thinks about the consequences of what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy now. It's like crazy with these people going in and not understanding.
Yeah.
And then the dealers don't understand it and people get frustrated.
Yeah.
It's too new, a lot of this technology to really get involved. And the automation is important for the AI. So AI works like this Chat GPT and all that. What I've seen, it just searches you.
Yeah.
And whatever that search is, it gives it to you.
Yeah.
And then from there, you can prompt it to what you want to write about. The other thing I got to tell you is Grammarly can detect AI.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Richie Bellows' blogs, 2018. I took a post that our friend Brandon wrote for me. 2018, there was no Chat GPT, there was no AI. And I know Brandon don't use that. And it tells me that.
Mm-hmm.
It tells me that whole article was all based on AI.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
So I don't know.
Well, that happened to me with my own writing.
Right.
I wrote a blog for a wedding hall and I took that copy and I got a free trial of a software that was supposed to detect AI. And I put my writing into that machine and it said 90% artificial intelligence. And I'm going, I guess I write like a robot.
I'm going to say something. So the place that you went to,
They're trying to sell me the software.
right? But did you log in? Did you do a login? Did you have to get a free trial or a login or anything?
To get the free trial, I did have to put my email address in. Yes.
I'm going to tell you something. So the place that I went to, Grammarly too, when you have ChatGPT, you have a profile.
Yes.
It's profiling you, right?
Uh-huh.
When you have this other system, it knows the profile that you have with ChatGPT. I don't think it can detect it. I think it's going by your profile with AI, and then it's making a decision that that's what it is. That's what I think.
Yeah. And then you want to sign up.
They're all profiles.
Wow.
So whoever uses it, it's going by that because it's impossible. I know something for sure. First of all, I know Brandon knows how to write for years, not now, a bazillion years ago.
Yeah.
He's a teacher, he's a professor and all that. Please. It's impossible. For 2018, there was no AI.
Yeah. It was, I think, like 2019 or 2020 was when we saw that. Was it Jasper?
Yeah, Jasper, right. And it was using the ChatGPT API.
Yeah, I remember you and I standing next to a laptop going, oh my God, this is the most brilliant thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's impossible. So I was just testing out the stuff. All these guys now are saying, well, I know this content is AI. I will test it.
Wow.
Go back to something you wrote before AI and let me know.
That's interesting because I did about 60 something blogs for you back then in 2019.
Right.
And I would like to actually take a couple of those and pop it in and see if it does the same thing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and it told me that, and I was like,
yeah.
Wow.
Well, actually, the best part was it said it was 90% AI, which I knew was wrong. Then I took it and I put it into another software that's supposed to rewrite it and fool other softwares and people. And it went up. It didn't go down. It actually was 92% or 94%.
Yeah.
It went up then. So, yeah.
I did that because of this. Now, everybody's got people that hate them or are okay with them and that. So one of the guys that I know is a hater on LinkedIn sends me a text phone message. Hey, Richie, that newsletter is great, but all that's AI. And today everybody's able to figure it out. I said, okay. So that's why I did that, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you have a profile or something's going on, and that's why I'm addressing that, because Lee writes a newsletter, okay, does a very good job. He's a writer before the AI because he wrote for my stuff a lot of things, and he wrote a lot of stuff in my brain a long time ago. So before the AI was around, and it doesn't matter because everybody starts it maybe with AI, but then they spin into it and write it. That's what it's supposed to be. So it doesn't really matter. And, to me, I don't really care. Honestly, I don't really care if it is AI or not.
Mm-hmm.
What I care about is what the reach is and what the engagement is. But I'm not looking at the content like people think I'm looking at it. I just care about what it does. Who does it reach, and did it help anybody?
Right.
It's all that matters to me. Whether it's AI or not, who cares? But then that's when I decided to check out this whole thing. And I went back to 2018. Now, that in December of 2018, there was no AI.
Right. Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Because there wasn't even COVID yet.
Right.
COVID came out in 2019.
Yeah. The end of. Yeah.
Right. So there wasn't even COVID. This was December 2018.
Yeah.
And it's telling me that it's AI. I say, okay. And that's a pretty reliable platform, Grammarly.
Yeah.
It ain't like, so I think, Lee, and I don't know if this is a fact, but I think that it's because all these AIs have your profile.
Yeah.
So then, right away.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if it's written good and it's written nice and the flow is nice, they right away say it's AI.
It's AI. Yeah. It's interesting. Or they're just going to always tell you it's AI until you buy the software. You know?
Well, I think that it's the metrics, okay? I think that everything goes by metrics,
Right.
right? So I think these machines that are detecting it, they can't really detect if the content is AI, but
Right.
they can see the behavior based on the profile that I have at ChatGPT, based on your profile and all that, and then they can make a decision
Right. Right.
whether it's AI or not. So, you can't put a machine to inspect another machine.
Right. Right.
That's where
Yeah.
that's what I say, because I love inspection. That's where I say we have a problem.
Right.
I can't put a machine to go into a dealership and inspect the sales department.
Right.
I
Yeah.
can't put a bot. Let's say we come up with a bot, Louis. He's an inspector. I can't put that on there to inspect,
Right.
because there's a lot of things you got to look at.
Right. Right.
Maybe in the future you could, but right now you can't.
Right. Interesting. Well, speaking of inspecting, we're just going to run one more quick promo from Shop Smart Autos on the SSA VIN
Good.
retention report.
Before you spend another dime on marketing and advertising, inspect what you expect. The SSA VIN retention report from Shop Smart Autos is the answer. Do you know your retention status? You might be losing hundreds of customers a month, but what if you could keep just a few more? Each retained customer means thousands in revenue, adding up to millions per year. The SSA VIN retention report is the inspection tool you've been looking for. Find out what you're missing before it costs you.
Yeah, and for the viewers here, Richie, there is a way to get a free SSA VIN retention report, right?
Yeah,
First
absolutely. All they got to do is, I send out emails every day on that. All they got to do is go to Shop Smart for Dealers. That's it. And contact us.
Yeah, let me actually, it's Shop Smart Autos, the number 4dealers.com.
Mm-hmm.
And here we go. Get that on the bottom of the screen for the viewers. And yeah, I mean, and the tool is getting a great response, right? I mean,
Yep.
to be able to show dealerships the customers that they lost and where they actually ended up.
Yep.
It's they're cleaning up their CRMs. They're able to target people in the right way. Yeah, I can't tell. I mean, I was only on the floor for a short time, but I can't tell you how many times I picked up the phone and made, I don't know, I guess in between sales and everything else I was doing, I probably made like 200 calls a week, something like that.
Wow.
And I can't tell you how many times I would call a former customer of the dealership, and I just got a car 2 months ago. I just got a car a few weeks ago. And I'm hitting them with emails, and I'm hitting them with phone calls and voicemails, trying to sell them a car, instead of trying to sell them, okay, we know you got a car. We know you ended up at XYZ Honda. Come in, though, come back for a free oil change. We love to have you in the service department, The VIN retention report is like such a powerful tool for that. And I wish it had been around at the time. So, but you're getting a good response from everyone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And talking about Shop Smart, the mobile app should be up and running within 7 to 10 days. With that, you can scan the VIN number and it tells you what time it is with the car you're looking for. And I think that's going to be a game changer for customers.
Wow.
On the consumer side, and that's going to really help areas. I have all the feeds, so it's just so simple thing to do.
So you could do the scan, and but then also the whole feed will also be in the app.
What it does is, let's say you're on ABC Motors and you're 15 miles away from the rest of the dealership, right?
Right.
So you scan it, and it comes back with 4 cars. With the VIN number, you have the model, the make, and the color.
Okay.
Right? The color's on there. with the VIN number. So it'll pull in. What won't pull in is the miles. You can be looking at a car that's got 60,000, and it can bring you in a car that has 35 or 40,000.
Right.
Right. At a much higher. So the only thing it can't pull in is the miles, but it can pull in everything about that car. So it's a competitive analysis, and then you can make a decision about that.
Wow. That's really cool.
Yeah. So it stops this. What it does for the dealership is, I went in. Everybody knows that 65% of the people flip cars. I go in for a VIN number 1, 2, 3, 4, and I go to the store. I talk to the salesman. Now they're converting the other thing, right? So it helps because now I got to do more research.
Right.
Okay, so when they run the VIN number, now when they run it, it's going to be pretty easy. And we're going to make a whole campaign about that. So I want everybody to listen. It works for the dealer too. I haven't said what it does, but what it does, it tells me, Shop Smart Auto, that they ran that scan in the location they ran it on the car that I brought them in.
Wow.
So it gives me information for our performance managers. That's why I did it. I just didn't want to say anything yet. But now that I know I can do it, I'm going to say why. Because Lee Wolf and when they listen to the show, they're going to kill me because I told them, no, I can't track that down. One of my partners, I can't track it down. I didn't tell him. And he says, I'm sure you're doing this for a reason. But anyway.
Yeah.
So the truth of the matter is that now that mobile app, that person ran the number. Now I know that VIN number that he's there for, he's in the showroom running the number.
Right.
And when you run the number on ShopSmart's mobile app, I have your device. Well, guess what? Now I'm targeting that person as he's leaving the showroom and know where he bought the car from.
Wow.
Right?
That's intense.
Right. So I have all that I'm setting up, and I've been like a little busy doing that and figuring out if it could happen with the technology, but we figured out it could because it's something called geofencing. So we're using the technology of geofencing for the mobile app, right, to track all these things down.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is intense. And that's within about a week?
Yeah, within 7 to 10 days, the thing will be launched.
Holy cow. Man.
And it's going to be really, really a good solution for the dealers, for ShopSmart, and for the consumers. When you have something that works for all three, great.
Yeah. And the VIN specific.
That's part of our nurturing program. Our team that does nurturing don't know that. But then you can nurture that from the mobile app data.
Wow. Pretty cool. Man.
That's a game changer right there, I think.
Yeah, that's huge. That is huge. Wow. Yeah, we definitely have to get the word out on that.
So we're working on stuff. I just, I've been a little bit under the radar, because I got a lot of stuff that I'm doing, and I haven't had a chance to really communicate a lot, but that's what we're doing. It works for the nurturing program. It works for the trackability, and it works for our geofencing because now we know where that device lands.
Right.
So when we're doing performance management, these leads are terrible, blah, blah, blah. Really? Well, 65% or 70% of that lead got hit in your showroom.
Right.
And these are the cars that they pulled up. So, and then it's out there like a sore thumb, because I know when they're looking at a Honda Accord black, based on that, I know.
Right.
I have a whole back end. If anybody knows anything about Richie, they know that the data thing is the first thing that I got handled.
Right.
I have always a back end that has to do with data because data sells.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And there'd be no AI without data, right?
Right. Data is the key.
Yeah.
And I'm never going to do nothing if I don't have the data first that I can make money on it, because then it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Oh, very cool. And any last words for our dealers out there that are experiencing overload?
Just dealers, don't you make a decision. GMs, don't you make a decision. Communicate with your team. And I'm going to end it with this. When data became very big in our business, okay, and it only became as big, I mean, maybe a few years ago, while COVID and all that, feeds and all that, bigger organizations, like, just to let everybody know, Lithia's got one of the best data science IT guys that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Just to let anybody know. Out in Medford, in their headquarters, the best. You got to start putting another department in the car business, which is IT. And a lot of stores might have that, but it gets bigger than that. IT, slash SaaS, software as a service.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to hire an engineer or something, and you got to hire somebody. Whether you go to the colleges and you get an intern, at least he knows what he's looking at. Because, man, there's a lot of stuff out there that's white label. People tell you it's not. There's a lot of stuff going on in the marketplace right now.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you're doing, you're going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Where you're going to get hurt is you're going to overspend, and you're going to hit diminishing returns. And then you have a budget, and you take it away from marketing, and then your competitors beating you to death.
Right.
So that's the problem, okay? So that's where you're going to get hurt. So be careful, be aware, be alert. I've always said this, and I'm going to end the show with this. Awareness is key.
Mm-hmm.
Awareness of your surrounding, awareness of who's with you, awareness of your technology. You have to be aware. If you ain't aware what you got, that's when surprises happen.
Mm-hmm.
And all you got to do is let people think you're not aware. You don't have to show anybody that you're aware, but once you become aware, you got to take care of it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, it's just because everybody has a budget, $50,000. Okay, how much I got to spend? Okay, I got to buy this now. That's $5,000. I'm buying it,
Right.
And that thing might not work good for you. And the salesman might have sold you such an aware, and you're not aware of it. So make yourself aware, hire yourself. The car business, the industry needs right now in one dealership for each 100 or 150 cars sold, somebody there that knows software.
Right.
That knows how to inspect the software.
Sure.
Because if not, you're going to have a problem.
Oh, without a doubt.
We're focusing on data science, guys, more now. That was okay. But you got to focus on the other thing because, man, there's so many AI technology coming at you. There's so much stuff coming at you every which way. But listen, you don't know what works or what's not going to work.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Richie, and thanks to everyone out there listening and watching. And we will catch you again next week, and we're going to be expanding on the topic a little more for that one. All right. Have a good day.
Thank you. Take care.